You're listening to Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored, bringing you the cutting edge of the entertainment world weekly, hosted by Lynn.
All right, woohoo! Welcome back to another episode of Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored. We are broadcasting tonight on the United Broadcasting Network at ubngo.com, Channel 1, and live streaming on our blog weekly at rocknSexxyUncensored.com. I'm your host, Lynn. It's my pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. And joining me is Joe Williamson. Oh, thank you, Joe. That's so kind of you. And you know what, Joe? You look like Angel, too. How you doing?
Oh, my God.
Have a seat. RNSU works overtime to bring you the cutting-edge talents from the music and entertainment worlds. And, folks, tonight is no exception. Joining us tonight is everyone's favorite bad little boy who literally became a household name after landing roles in Hollywood films, co-starring with the likes of comedian Richard Pryor and the legendary Jackie Gleason in the 1982 film The Toy. And the same year, Kid Co., directed by Ronald Maxwell. He went on to be featured in the Hollywood blockbuster film A Christmas Story as Flick, a kid who gets left in the snow after a child dare, getting his tongue stuck to a frozen flagpole, creating a scene-stealing school emergency. He's also worked in other noted Hollywood films and television movies, including A Time to Live with the legendary Liza Minnelli, Richard Dunn, and the late Corey Haim. We're so happy to have him back in the house. This year, he will be returning to the big screen once again to reprise his role as Flick in the sequel, A Christmas Story Christmas, for Warner Brother Pictures. Please welcome back to Rock-N-Sexxy UnCensored, the man, the myth, the legend, Scotty Schwartz.
Hi,
in the
everybody.
house. How are you doing?
Well, I got in my car at 5 to 6, and I had no juice, no battery.
Oh, no.
So I called AAA, and I'm waiting. And you guys, 10 minutes, 15. I'm going, oh, my God, am I going to make it? Oh, yeah. Well, as you get older, you got to pee. You got to do what you got to do. So I run back in the house. That's when you sent me the text, and I'm like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God.
Did you forget while you were in there peeing that you had a radio show interview?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, no, thank
I'm
God.
just kidding.
This has happened to us before.
So
it's not the first time.
I literally ran back outside, and I had left the hood open, and he's juicing me up. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Well, first of all, I just
I
want
drove
to say
fast to get
hello to Mr. and Mrs. Schwartz, Sandy, brother Sandy, and the whole Schwartz family, and Mazel Tov on the new film.
Yes, it was quite a wild experience to get a phone call out of nowhere and then end up in Bulgaria for a little over 7 weeks.
Right? And you had no idea that they were just about to come back with this new sequel, right?
No. We were far from what you would call their first choices.
Well,
they were trying to recast.
With that for a minute. Okay?
They were trying to recast.
Oh, really? They were trying to recast you? How can they do the film without Flick?
We're
going to get to that
Ralph,
in
Randy,
just a minute, but
we
want to come back just a little bit. Okay, we got to come all the way back. So,
boy.
This is like a lot of our listeners. They don't know Flick. They don't know Scotty Schwartz. They don't know. How did you get started in acting?
They don't know? Do they not own a television? They had bad parents? What happened here,
How'd you get started in acting?
I was attending a film club with my dad in New York, and it was just a movie club. People watched old movies and whatever.
And your parents had two beautiful boys. Okay.
Well, Sandy will appreciate that. Thank you. Yes.
Hi, Sandy. How you doing out there?
Yes.
Right, but they did. They had two beautiful boys, and one of them,
It just happened.
It wasn't in acting, or
no,
was it you who said, I want to be an actor?
I went, everybody does something with Dad on Saturdays or Sundays or whatever, and I went to the movies. And one of the other members of the film club, there were no other kids. I was the youngest by 20 years. There was nobody there.
And
that was
Sandy's your little brother.
Sandy's my little brother. Yeah, he wasn't even around yet.
Oh, so you got the job.
Yeah, I got and the guy said, "Hey, you're very outgoing. I'm doing a commercial down in Miami Beach with Yogi Berra.
Adorable. And he's so cute when he's a little kid.
Would you like to do a TV commercial? Yankees, Yogi Berra, Yoo-hoo? Sure, let's go." And we talked to him, everything. Okay. So I went down and did it, and on the flight back, he's
What
like,
did
"You're
your parents
great."
say when they first said, "We want your son"?
Oh, my dad's like, "Okay, cool." I mean, that was,
And then your
okay.
mom just went along with whatever.
She just went along with whatever, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
it'll be fun.
And then got on the flight home. He said, "You should keep going," and introduced us to a casting director, and then met a couple of agents. Got signed 2 seconds in the door, literally.
So you literally walked on the set of a
Commercial. Yeah.
Your very first job.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like you were an extra in the background, little kid
Oh,
doing
no.
anything. You just literally got the break.
Yeah. And the rest was me. The guy said, "You light up the screen. You got excitement. You got a great look, and you got to do this." Okay.
And little kids love the attention, so they're just like, "What? Okay, right? We get
No, I was just like, "Oh, this is cool. This is fun." Okay.
Okay." So then you went
know.
home and you said, "Mom, Dad, I want to be an actor."
Well, no, we met with the agents, and then there was a lot. That's 77. That's March of 77, and I don't get a movie until December of 81.
Okay.
So it was 4 years. So it was 100 commercials.
4 years you were doing commercials.
Yeah, commercials, 100 commercials, 100 plus voiceovers, Broadway, off Broadway, and
But you did so much. You were in so many commercials, and you did a lot of work. And you guys were on the East Coast back then.
yeah, New York. Yeah.
Right. So you had New York training.
If you want to call it that.
Well,
New York training is basically walking up 42nd Street, okay? That's basically New York
Is it
training.
really?
Pretty much, yeah.
Because New York, I do know, myself from the work that I've done in acting and stuff. And I know New Yorkers are very serious about, their training and talent and stuff.
Never had a lesson.
Really?
Never had a lesson. Just
It's
walked into
really
it
hard to-
and just came natural.
Wow.
I say it this way. I was a movie junkie, okay?
As a little kid.
As a kid. Many people, especially on the East Coast, took their bike to school. I don't know if you ever did. Did you ever take your bike to school? Never had to?
I did.
Okay, so I had to. Had the Sony Walkman. But I didn't listen to AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Bon Jovi, Journey,
they
whatever.
weren't even around yet in
Oh, yeah, they were.
77. Were they?
Well, no, I'm saying
No.
when I was in school.
It was Led Zeppelin
Middle school.
and Jimmy Page and
Yeah.
yeah.
But I didn't listen
Jimi
to music.
Hendrix.
I didn't listen to
Ozzy
music.
was there.
Yeah. I didn't listen to music on my cassettes. I had 5 movies. I had Airplane, History of the World Part 1, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, and Smokey and the Bandit. And every
Wow.
day I would switch out and listen to another movie while I was going to school. So I was a junkie. So for me to get on stage and perform, I did it 3rd grade, 4th grade. I was in every play and did all that kind of stuff. And who knew? Just all progressed.
And then just one
happened.
job went to the next, and
Absolutely.
your agent would book you, and you would show up, and you would do it. Okay.
I
So-
actually did 30 commercials in 36 days at one point.
That's amazing.
I mean, I was actually coming
I
home
can
at
just see Mom.
8 o'clock at
I
night.
can just see his mom. She'd be like, count.
No, not at all. That's not what they did.
No?
No, my
I
mom-
thought they put it all away for college. I thought I had the conversation
Most,
with them when we all
most
had
all
dinner.
of it, yeah. No.
I could see
You know,
your
they
mom.
didn't
He's
need it
gonna
'cause
go to the best
My dad had
school.
his own business. My mom had 2 jobs. She was a manager at a 7-Eleven when they allowed white people to work there.
Oh,
and then I'm old enough I can say these jokes and I don't care. And then she worked for AT&T at night. So she got a pension, and she was working for 7-Eleven. So I mean, they didn't need my money, just-
No. I meant she was saving up the money for you.
Oh, it
for
just sat in the
college,
account.
thinking you're going to a good college. You're going to go to a good school.
Oh yeah, Valley College,
Right?
one
And-
semester.
Really? So you never did? Okay.
Valley
so let's-
College.
So the first big movie that you did was not A Christmas Story. It was The Toy.
It was the toy, yeah. Yeah.
What was it like? So you walk on the set. Did you know? Because at this time, Richard Pryor was a legendary comedian.
He was huge.
And
and
Jackie Gleason was on TV every day.
I was a Smokey and the Bandit and Honeymooners fanatic.
Right? I was
So,
too. I loved
I mean,
him.
the
Ralph
the
Cramden.
the
What was his wife's name?
I forget.
Ralph.
Audrey Meadows.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what her name was, I can't remember. Oh my God! It's
You'd always
just,
say to the
To the moon, Alice.
Alice. Her name was Alice.
To the moon,
Alice. Oh, I loved him. I loved him. So,
But the only way to explain it is the fact that I was an airplane fanatic was the reason why I got the toy, which will sound crazy to pretty much anybody here, but true. I get the screen test, come out to California, and they're telling me, "Oh, you're going to read with Richard Pryor and all this stuff." Okay, so I get there. I'm
and you know
in the
who Richard
Burbank lot.
Pryor is,
I
because
knew
he's an adult
Bingo
comedian.
Long, Silver Streak, Stir Crazy. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and the lady knocks, and I'm very sorry. Mr. Pryor couldn't make it. He's stuck in Atlanta, divorce number 5. We're going to put you with another black actor. Okay. I shut the door, and I'm pissed, and I'm cursing, and my father's like, listen, you still got to do the job, whatever. It's okay. Next thing I know.
And he's only 5, and he's still like this.
Next thing I know.
He's been this way since he came
Oh,
out
yeah.
of shoot.
Knock on the door, and the actor comes up. How you doing? My name is Norman, blah, blah, blah. Okay. He said, let's take a walk around. You know, we're in the back Burbank lot. We'll walk around. We'll get some camaraderie. Okay. And we're talking for a couple minutes. I said, you look familiar. He's like, oh, well, I did this job and I did this. I'm going, no. He said, well, I did a comedy. I don't know if you're old enough to have seen it. Airplane. The second he said it, he was the thin jive guy
Oh, yes.
from Airplane. Shit, man, but let me to the bones, checking me up. Tight me. I knew all of it, and I lost it. It's like Fanboy. And I started doing it, and he's like, how do you know this? It's nonsense. It's made up. I said, I know. I love every second of it.
Oh,
We got done. I went inside. He went and told Richard Donner, the director, and Ray Stark, the producer, if you want a kid who can play with and play off of Richard Pryor, that's your guy. He's crazy. He's nuts. You'll see what I mean when you get him on the set. So we got on the set. We did a couple, takes, read through, just the regular dialogue. Okay, fine. Then Richard Donner goes, okay, forget that. Do it in jive. And we just started making up stuff. We were just riffing back and forth. Pretty much there and then they knew I was the one because I could do anything. And I mean,
And that was basically what your audition amounted to and how you got the job. And your dad's sitting out there wringing his hands going, is he going to get the job? How's my son doing in there?
No. This was on the soundstage. So my dad's at the bottom. They had built a big staircase. My dad's at the bottom of the staircase with my agent. And then they make the fatal mistake. You never ask a 13-year-old kid to tell a joke. Because the only jokes they know are dirty jokes.
They do?
Oh, of course. That's all I knew. Hey, the director says, tell jokes. I'll tell jokes. What jokes do I know? Okay, fine. First joke, I said, he was playing Jack as Jack Brown, as Richard Pryor's character. I said, Jack, what's the difference between a rooster and a hooker? A rooster says cock-a-doodle-doo, and a hooker says any cock-will-do.
Oh, no. And you're 12?
I was 13.
You were 13 and you knew this joke?
Of course. My father.
See, I told you.
My father and my
It has
agent.
nothing to do with me.
No.
Okay?
My agent's going, oh, my God. And my father's like, I'm going to kill him. Not realizing that Richard Pryor is basically at the end of this rainbow, and he's the joke teller. He's the N-word guy and everything.
Right.
The fact that I could go there like that.
He was the original guy that actually made jokes and used that reference of the N-word, and then made it like okay to laugh about it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But the fact
And
that
then
I would
they
tell a
had
dirty
you-
joke, they knew I could go there. I wasn't
but in
worried
the toy,
about saying
you guys
something
didn't
with it.
do any of that in the movie The Toy.
Well, during shooting, but when we were sitting, oh, you have no idea.
So
I
you
got
just
an
did that.
education.
How come you didn't go on the road with him as a comedian? How much fun would that be? Because
too
you
young.
would make a great comedian if you wanted to do something like that. You could also do that.
I worked at the Comedy Store for a while.
Oh,
I
you did?
I did a little bit of stand-up. And this was late 89. I'm working the main room. And Richard was coming in. So I told the waitress, just tell me when he comes in. I'll say hi, whatever. So I go in the back. He came in. And in the little green room behind the main room stage is Robin Williams, Sam Kinison, Richard Pryor, and Richard's wife. And me. Okay. And we're going back and forth. We're all laughing. It's time for Richard to go on.
And you were very intuitive, even as a young kid. So you're 12 at this point? You're 12?
No, I was 21
Oh, you were 21.
in 89, yeah.
Okay.
And so if you went out and you went all the way to the end, that's where you go to the seating. But if you went out and you made a quick left, that's the back of the main room stage at the curtain. Robin walks out, goes left. Sam goes out, goes left. I'm holding the door. Richard goes, what are you doing? I'm going to work. I'm working. He goes, no, you're not. So he grabs me, pulls me through the curtain. So Robin and Sam are going at it, and me and Richard are sitting on the two little back steps at the back of the stage. 20 minutes, and we're dying. And Sam turns around, and he hands Richard the mic, and he gets up. So now it's Richard, Pryor, and they're doing 20 minutes, and Sam and I are sitting there. Another 20 minutes goes by. Robin turns around, he hands me the mic. I go, what would you like me to do? I mean, I've done some stand-up, but I was far from that level, you know. He's like, that's your boy. Go get him. I said, go get him. Okay. So I go up, and Richard's talking to one of the customers. And then he turns around, he sees me, he goes, oh, you want some of this? And he proceeds to tear me a new a-hole like you haven't seen. Every small Jewish dick joke you can think of. I mean, he's just blasting away. And I'm standing, I'm taking all of it. He goes, you going to say something? I said, you shut the fuck up. Yeah, okay, I'll say something. He's like, he just gives me the stage. Well, I basically started telling stories of stuff that happened on the set with him. You know, we'd be sitting there, and he'd be looking at some brunette, and what do you think of her? Oh, she's cute. I mean, she gave me a blowjob last night. I'm 13. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. But, I mean, he was my sex teacher. I mean, he was just the everything. And we did this for another 15, 18
now,
minutes.
if that happened in today's world, okay, there would be like a descending of police onto the set.
Oh.
Child services would be called
There
in,
was
and it was all
no
just a big
PC,
joke.
no nothing. Whatever Richard said, that's what he said.
And he was always like that, and it was meant to be taken in jest.
Of course.
And fun, right?
But
And
he was the on-off guy. When he was off, he would sit in his chair, he would read books, underlining, learning, you know, becoming knowledgeable at whatever he wanted. The minute you turned him on, that was it. It was all
He
over.
was the original Shock. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
and
you
we
had
hung
Lenny
out with
Bruce
his
and
daughter,
Red Fox. Rain.
Rain at the Chiller,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, Rain's really
my little
cool.
sister.
Yeah, she's
My
such
little
a
sis.
sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got, when you know people since they're 8, 9, 10, 11, it's like, you know, 30, 40, they're the little brothers, the little sisters.
So once you did the toy, though, it really just took off from there. Then you did the toy and Kidco in the same year.
Well, yeah.
But Kidco was kind of just like...
I got home in July, and by October, I was in Tucson doing Kidco. Got done doing that.
And that one was
on
just
Sunday,
like the next film.
Yeah,
It was
but
just...
I literally got home on Sunday, the 19th or 20th of December, and it was that Wednesday, which is like the 23rd, when I met with Bob Clark for Christmas Story.
Nice.
The toy had opened in the theaters, you know, and I went in, and he's like, how you doing? It's nice to meet you, and we just talked.
So the toy had already opened in theaters when they... So when you walked in to do A Christmas Story, they already knew who you were from the toy. So you had that.
But Bob wanted to meet
push.
me. He just wanted to see if I was a regular kid or if I was the typical showbiz banana. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we talked for 15 minutes, and he says, you know, I missed lunch. We were in Manhattan. You want to go downstairs and have a hot dog? Sure. We go downstairs. We have a hot dog from the, you know, the Dirty Water Dog and have a Pepsi. And it went back upstairs.
Dirty Water Dog.
On the corner stands in New York.
Oh, yeah.
The Dirty
They're
Water,
called Dirty Water Dogs?
Dirty Water Dogs.
Oh, I love those, too. I
Mm-hmm.
like the
Sabrets.
ones in Toronto, too. The ones because they have the sausages. Yeah.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good.
So we had that.
I didn't know the water was dirty. I'm not going to ever be able
Well,
to
because
do
when you
that.
get there at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's fine. But by 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 800 hot dogs have been going in and out of that thing, and they just keep going. They don't clean the water.
Right.
Still healthy. Nobody gets sick.
Right.
It's just the
Usually
flavor.
not. I've never been sick off of New York.
Neither
hot
have I.
dogs.
That's what I'm saying.
And I love them.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm good for 2 to 4 anytime, whatever. Yeah.
Right. As a matter of fact, I remember when we drove in from Chiller. Remember that? Me and you, your mom, and was your mom and dad and Sandy and Julie Kay.
Yeah.
Right? And we went to have dinner at the underground Chinese restaurant.
Whoa Hop.
Whoa Hop.
Whoa Hop. If anybody is going to Manhattan, go to Whoa Hop. It's 17 Mott Street, south of Canal. Go downstairs. It is the greatest Chinese food on planet Earth. Period.
It really
There's nothing
is.
close
And you'll
to it.
have the best time. You'll have the best time there at the same time. And then when we left there, we still went and got a hot dog.
Yeah, we went to Times Square.
Yeah, we went to Times Square and we got one of the hot dogs. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you come in on A Christmas Story.
Bob was just like, I wanted to meet you. Thanks.
So he takes you for a hot dog. He says you got the job.
Nope, not. He just let me go. He said, thank you. I appreciate you coming. I said, you want me to read anything? He said, no, you're good. Okay. Left, walked up 7 blocks to my agent's office. I walked in. She said, what did you do? We talked. We had a hot dog. She goes, good. He called already. He got the movie.
Nice.
That was it.
Listen, so here's the thing I don't understand about A Christmas Story. Okay, and I've seen A Christmas Story. It's one of those films that you've seen like 15 times or 20 times. I saw it so many times as a kid. And there was a character called Schwartz.
Well, of course. It's written in the book.
Okay.
Because it comes out of the book. There's Schwartz and Flick. Just the fact that Scott Schwartz gets cast as Flick and R.D. Robb gets cast as Schwartz.
It kind of derailed me every time. I was like, because he kept calling him Schwartz.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was, right? And then
Imagine being on a set when they're going, Schwartz, okay. I said, yeah, no, the other Schwartz. I mean, that happened all the time where they wanted R.D. Robb, who played Schwartz. They wanted him, but I would respond. You know, Schwartz, we need, what do you need? Oh, no, not
so
you,
how many kids?
Schwartz.
How many kids were on this set?
7, 8.
There was a there was like
Oh wait,
there was
there's
like
the 5 main.
right.
Ralphie,
Okay.
Randy, Scott Farkas, Grover, Dill, Flick, 6. They were on the set all the time.
How was it when you worked with all of them? Did you guys become kind of like best friends?
Peter and I stayed friends. He had my house number. I had his house number. None of the other guys. They were Scott Farkas and Grover Dill. Scott Farkas was from Canada. Grover Dill is from California. And Ian, who played the little brother, he was much too young. He was like
Who
8 years
chose
old.
Flick for you? You never had to audition. You just showed up. On
Bob
the set.
Clark. He knew it was me in 2 seconds.
So when we get to the scene where you play Flick, who gets his tongue stuck to the frozen flagpole, we've got it here. Can we go ahead and take a look at it?
For my
This is-
988th millionth time.
Right?
Roll
That's
it. Here we
okay,
go.
But this is for our viewers, so you know exactly what we're talking about.
No, this is overcloud. It's anywhere from 20 to 24 below zero. This is in Canada.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, no.
And you're in St. Catharines.
St. Catharines.
And I lived in Canada for a while, so I knew exactly where you were. I was in Niagara Falls.
And nuance of
Right.
phrase in this
So
ritual
when
is
you went to
very
Canada, we'll talk about
important.
this one.
Are you kidding?
'Cause-
Stick my tongue to that stupid pole, that's dumb. That's cause you know it'll stick. You're full of it. Oh, yeah? Yeah! Like double dog dare ya!
Now it was serious. A double dog dare. What else was left but a triple dare you? And finally, the coup de grace of all dares, the sinister triple dog dare.
I triple dog dare ya!
Schwartz created a slight breach of etiquette by skipping the triple dare and going right for the throat.
All right, all right. Come on, Karen. Well, go on, smartass, and do it. I'm going.
Flick's spine stiffened, his lips curled in a defiant sneer. There was no going back now.
This is next. Stop. Stop. Stop! 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 It really worked.
That I said, I came up with this.
No,
All
I
of it.
just want to wait till the... Yeah!
Yeah, how about that?
And the best part about this scene is that he gets left by all these kids out, and then they get in like this big trouble.
Well, no, the teacher says, "Where's Flick? Has anybody seen Flick?" And then the one girl will go, kind of does.
And
the
he's
point
still
thing.
out there.
And I'm out there.
He's still out there. And this was just one of the funniest things. And as a kid, I remember watching it and just, wow. And then here you are, all these years later, we meet in a completely different world, in
Absolutely.
a completely different place,
Oh yeah.
right? And you're still like this kid. You know, you're not a kid anymore. You're fully
No.
grown.
Well, of course, but I
I-
looked 15 or 16, and I was 21.
He was 21 years old, and he still kept that youthful look. And you still do even today.
No drugs, no booze. Lots of stooping in my day, but not that much now. But
Too much information.
It says uncensored. What do you want me to do?
That's
Sit
right.
there with my
We're
thumb
not
in my
censored.
ass?
He
No.
can talk about it all he wants.
I'm
Yeah.
54 years old, man. It is what it is now.
Right? Back in the day when you had to like act appropriately and be politically correct, now we're proud of all the dirty shit we got away with in our youth, right?
I don't know that I've ever been politically correct. That's not how I was brought up. That's not what Richard Pryor taught me. He was my teacher. He was my mentor. He said, you want to say something, you say something.
But this is what happened later in life. But let's go back to Flick. Okay, so you finish this movie releases, and they didn't even really expect it, I don't think, because I remember it was this this holiday blockbuster film, and everybody went to the movie theater to see it, and it was just a big deal. And from that minute on, you were like a household name.
Well, the toy really did that. Christmas Story had its short time release. It did okay. It made money. That was fine. But it basically sat on MGM shelves for 13 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think Joe mentioned that.
They put on VHS. That was it. It was in VHS hell. Okay, fine. And Ted Turner was buying the MGM library. And the story that I got from somebody very high up at Turner, they told me what happened. There was 2 movies left, and Ted Turner's secretary said, well, what about A Christmas Story? And Ted Turner said, what's that? He'd never seen it because it was only in the theaters a short time. Okay. So she brought in her VHS tape, and Jane Fonda and Ted Turner watched it in the office. He said, oh, what a wonderful film. Okay. As part of the package, they paid $250,000 for the movie. That's it.
Wow.
And they've already stated that for what they paid for it, A Christmas Story is the most profitable film in the history of Warner Brothers.
Wow.
What they paid for it. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
And then the marathon, which the secretary suggested. Ted's like, okay, we got this. What are we going to do? And she said, well, why don't we do a marathon? We did it, for a couple of years with Wizard of Oz. Then it died. And we did it with It's a Wonderful Life. A couple of years. At least if we do it for 2 years, we'll make our money back.
I was just going to say that
did we know.
there are 3 films that I watch every Christmas. It's a Wonderful Life. It's Tradition. A Christmas Story. And then the other one. What is that other film? I can't remember.
Elf, Christmas Vacation.
A Christmas Carol?
A Christmas Carol. It's a Christmas Carol.
Scrooge.
And the one with Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge, and all of that. And it's not Christmas unless we see all of that. So
I watched Scrooge because Richard Donner, who did the toy with me, directed Scrooge and got me to meet Bill Murray. Okay.
At this point, did you understand the level and depth of your fame, or were you just a little kid just having fun on a set still?
Oh, I was having fun on the set. That's the way I've always been. I mean, that's just, I learned from a master. When Richard Pryor said to me, you go to a set prepared and relaxed. Okay. Not making Othello. You're making family fun or comedies or whatever, I'm not making Shogun. I don't have to be serious.
Well, The Christmas Carol became one of the most iconic, famous films of all time. It's still to this day they still have the marathons.
They have it on 2 stations.
I know.
They're making so much money they don't know what to do with themselves.
And the thing that's going on today is they're going back and they're resurrecting all of this, and it's music and it's films and it's all of this stuff that came out through the 70s and the
70s,
80s.
the 80s. The
and
nostalgia's
the 80s,
back.
Because they cannot reproduce it in the same form and get the same reaction.
No, I mean
it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, we would rather see old fat Gene Simmons or whatever coming out onto a stage now than try to go and create a new band who's doing the same thing that Kiss did. They just don't buy it.
It's impossible.
Isn't it amazing?
And
thank God for that.
And film is the same way. Nobody wants to see a new Breakfast Club. Nobody, because you can't mess with that. Now, in Christmas Story's case, they did A Christmas Story 2 years ago with Daniel Stern. Disaster. Then they did My Summer Story, with Charles Grodin as the father and Mary Steenburgen as the mother and Kieran Culkin as Ralph. Disaster. Then it sat there. Now it sits there all these years, right? Who knew that two guys that I actually know would create a series that would change the entire game, which is Cobra Kai. You know,
yes.
Cobra Kai changed everything because it's so incredible and it's such a great series, and they've done so well with it. They went, all right, what else do we got? We had young guys that we could bring back, and whatever. And like I said before, we still weren't the first choice when they called me. Actually, Peter Billingsley, who's Ralphie, who's one of the producers on the film. You have to audition. Okay.
For the new
Christmas Story.
So
I said, okay, well, what do I do? And they sent me, the sides and the stuff, and just, do it on your phone and send it in,
Well, that's how they do things today, and it does make it a lot more difficult, because I get auditions all the time, and they send them to my agent. My agent calls me up and says, you need to do, this on your phone. And I'm
I'm horrible.
Do it on my phone. I'm gonna look like blah 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 blah. And you go into all this stuff, and they're like, "No, we just want a quick thing on your phone."
No.
Yeah,
I had a friend of mine.
You go down the street and you do it in the studio and whatever, and they're like, they don't.
But my friend lives 8 minutes from here, and I called him up, dude. I got to come to your house. I can't do this on my own. You got to do this for me.
Yeah, and then they'll want to read your lines over the phone or over.
I read my lines with him. Just recording it on my phone. It does make it a lot more
difficult because you want to look good, and especially for me or women, you want to put your makeup on, you want to do your hair, you got to run out, you got to get,
I didn't do any of that shit. No, I didn't do any of that. No.
I didn't do anything.
He started the camera, I had a slate, hi, Scott Schwartz, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then I sat down, I did the reading, and I say it this way, I sort of cheated, but not. The night before I was coming back from New York.
Okay, so let's talk about the character.
Wait. I watched the original on the plane. I watched my scenes with Schwartz because the dialogue I had to read were scenes with Schwartz. So I was trying to get in my head the beats and the rhythm and his voice and our inflections, so I would be right back at that place again. And of course it helped. It was perfect.
Hold on.
We're holding. What are we?
Can you talk about that, or are you?
Well, I can talk about some of it.
Okay, good.
I can't talk about all.
So,
of
are
it.
you playing Flick?
I'm playing
Flick. Or are
Flick.
you playing Flax?
No, I'm playing Flick.
You are
yes,
Flick.
It's 30 years later.
It's 30 years later.
Flick's a bar owner.
Oh, he is?
Flick's Tavern.
Flick's Tavern? Oh, they're letting you talk about it? Okay.
Just a little. I can't tell you much.
Okay.
Because they haven't started any, real publicity for it.
Is he like a drunken bar owner?
No. Oh, no. He
has Flick's Tavern.
Listen, what was great in my case was the film was set in 1973. And the minute they said it, I went, okay. Elvis lamb chops. I want the the full-on
And
mustache.
they let you do that. They let you have
creative.
I
traveled. I
I
didn't shave for 3 weeks. So I get this, and then I got there, and I shaved, and I made it all nice. And I see Peter, he goes, you look perfect. They did a great job. I said, Pete, they didn't do dick. This is mine from home, dude. He's like, don't change anything. It was perfect,
Yeah, love Peter too, by the way, and his character. And so, can you talk about Peter at all?
Ralphie's an aspiring writer that lives in Chicago.
Yeah, he grew up from that cute little kid to being like a good-looking guy.
Still has those incredible
big
blue eyes.
Blue eyes. He's got the big blue eyes, right? Yeah. So he reprises his role.
Mm-hmm.
And so tell us about the cast. So the original cast is all there.
The kids that played Ralphie, Randy, Scott Farkas, Grover Dill, Flick, Schwartz. The mom, Melinda Dillon, who played the mom in the original, she's retired. So they got Julie Haggerty from Airplane.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my God. It's great.
Oh, so she comes in as the mom, and
she's
just
in
a
as
new
the mom,
character, a new actress.
I mean, there's nothing like meeting somebody that you have absolutely just loved the work for over 40 years, and you just walk up to them and say, "Hi, I'm Scott."
So
is everybody on board who knows how to fly a plane? I mean, I had to. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't hold back.
I can't wait.
What did she say?
You have no
she
idea
laughed.
how excited I am. I'm really excited to see this film. I tell you, because I was a fan of it as a kid. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the movie itself, and it just.
It's got a lot of heart.
Like we
it's got
were
some
saying
comedy.
when you were watching the clip, it takes us back to a place in time where the world was just different. For me, it was just kinder. It was not so crazy. There were, I don't know. I mean,
Nobody
maybe,
talked about politics. Nobody cared about fucking politics.
and nobody
you know?
knew who
Nobody
you
gave a shit.
voted for.
Nobody
and all
cared.
this other crap, and we were all just. And I don't even think we had phones at this time. You didn't have a
course
text
not.
phone. You didn't have a cell
We
phone.
had nothing.
We had nothing, and you had to
We didn't even
communicate
have- we didn't have
with
beepers
each
yet.
other. Right, we didn't even have the beepers yet. We didn't have the cell phones and the
No
things
internet.
and all that. And you know what? It's great to have technology in life, but it forced us into a place before where I think when we were forced into communicating as human beings more in a one-on-one basis at that time, we felt more like we had to be more communicative, and we were stuck together. Like our survival was grounded in how we worked and with each other in the community.
Well, of
And
course, but
more of a community. Now it's just like,
Oh no,
you
no,
know,
it's this.
people
This is what it is.
walk around like this all day long,
You know.
in the gym and everything. And I'm as guilty of it as anybody. But it did change the communication dynamic in this world.
See, I'm okay with cell phones not in school. You see, we did that. You see, we actually got to school and got home without a cell phone. Isn't that amazing? And now you got every 8-year-old holding cell phones.
Right.
And now
and
one
they
of the states
just
is trying
look
to pass a
everything
law,
up on
no,
the internet.
No phones in the school.
I do have a question about the film. The film is produced by Peter Billingsley and Vince Vaughn. They're Wild West Productions production company and Legendary Films Entertainment co-produced.
And Warner Brothers.
And Warner Brothers. Okay.
Nice.
Why is Vince Vaughn not in the film? I
Was
just
ne- was
can't imagine
never-
that they would take
was
like
never up for any of the roles. It doesn't fit any. He could have fit one role, but he was actually doing another film while we were shooting.
Okay, because it just
You know.
seemed to me when I saw Vince Vaughn's name, I was like, oh, Vince Vaughn's in it. Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah, but no,
And then
it's not really what they wanted. They wanted
Well, there
to
could
keep
be a
as
complete-
many original people as they could.
But there's other parts for other people.
Well, listen.
You
they,
know?
they added one role, which was oh my god. He's an English actor. He's from the United Kingdom, and the character's name is Larry in the script, right? And he's got this thing with Ralphie, and so it was kind of like right before you see me and Schwartz and RD, and we're like, all right, who's this guy? Who is this character? What the hell is he doing here? Whatever. And then he kind of moseys his way into the next scene, and then he's in another scene, and then whatever. Well, we got to, there's a scene at the dinner table. And, I mean, he is a rip-roaring riot. And when we got done with that, we're like, you know what? Larry is an okay character. It worked within the confines of the film, but to have somebody like a Vince Vaughn, everybody's going, oh, that's Vince Vaughn. Whereas really nobody is going to get up and go, oh, that's Peter Billingsley. No, they're going to get, that's Ralphie. You know? Nobody's saying, hey, that's Scott Schwartz or that's RD. It's
Well, there's
flipping
other parts. Like I said, there's other parts to the film where I was hoping that he would have been cast somewhere in the film and be a part of it. So, A Christmas Story. Christmas.
Yeah.
It is slated for release November 2022.
Yep.
So get your popcorn ready, kids. Grab.
Can I have I got time for one quick funny story?
No, you sure do, because I got a little other thing that I want to get. I want to talk about while you're here.
So we shot in Bulgaria. That was, for money reasons. They have full sound stages, backlots, everything over there, whatever. Their vernacular is not set up for the name Schwartz. They can't pronounce it. Okay. The first day I'm on the set, the production manager goes, okay, send in the legends. That's what they call it, the legends.
They called you guys the legends?
Yeah.
I love that.
So the girl, the PA who grabs us, he's got me and RD, and we're walking, and she goes, okay, I have Flicken Schwartz coming in, Flicken Schwartz. And I'm like, what? Huh? Schwartz. No, Schwartz. No, Schwartz. Oh, I'm dying. I'm like, oh, my God, this is hilarious. I had to call my mother. That night, I said, you're not going to believe this.
You should have had your
Schwartz are going on the set. Flicken Schwartz are going on the set. And it's, I before the pandemic, I would see Mel Brooks in Beverly Hills for lunch once in a while. And I'm like, I hope he comes back. I got to see him. I got to tell him this because he's going to crack up. Flicken Schwartz, whatever. Oh, my God. It was a riot. Their McDonald's is halfway decent. And that's about
So
it.
what do you think of the film?
I have not seen the film yet.
You're excited? You haven't seen it?
I have not seen the film yet.
When's the premiere?
probably a week before it comes out, or that week, or whatever it is. We're supposed to see it a little bit before that. They said they're going to have a screening for it. So they've had a couple of private screenings, and to my knowledge, from what I've been told,
I know you'll
everybody
take your
loved
family.
it.
You'll take
Everybody
your
loved
family to it, right?
Are you ready for this? In my contract, this is how nutty this is. In my contract, if there is a premiere of the film, it is talent plus one. Talent plus one. I said,
they're going to let your mom
so I go,
come.
so I'm on the phone with the guy from Legendary.
Well, I'm
going,
available.
Seriously? I said, what if I have a girlfriend at this time? I'm going to bring my mother first and foremost.
You have to bring
But
your mom.
What if I have a girlfriend
And
at that time?
Sandy will want to come.
My brother. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's only one.
What happened to Mrs. Elizabeth? Miss Elizabeth.
She's home.
She's home.
She's home on the
He's
couch.
Still out. He has
Oh,
a
yeah.
little
Mini teacup chihuahua. She's 4 pounds. But I talked to Peter
getting
on
up
the
there
set.
though. She's older.
7.
She's 7.
Yeah.
Aw.
But I talked to Peter when we were in Bulgaria, and I said to him, I said, well, what did it? He goes, dude, just call me. Whatever the hell you need, I don't give a shit. You can have whatever you want.
Nice.
That's Pete. It was great.
Congratulations. I'm really excited for you.
It was
And
very
I think-
strange. Wait. It was very strange going on the set the first day, going back into Flick and having Peter there and RD there. And
Well, you've
and Zach
worked
was-
on tons of projects since
Yes,
then,
but
and you
we've-
did 21 Jump
Oh,
Street.
done
with-
tons, but
with
we've
Johnny
lost
Depp.
people. But we've lost people.
Did he
Bob
hit
Clark,
you?
the original director, is gone.
Did Johnny Depp ever abuse you on the set?
Johnny Depp and I are pals.
I know.
We're good to go.
Kidding. It's
But-
a joke.
Yeah, I know. But I'm on the set, and I kind of started like this emotional roller coaster, because I was thinking about how much Bob Clark would have loved this. He would have loved to have come back to this again because he loved it. And then I'm like, Gene Shepard's gone, and Darren's gone. So I'm literally trying to keep my makeup dry, and I started to cry and this and that, and we're starting to shoot.
Because he's sensitive. You are.
No, I'm just to certain things. Certain things I
Well,
am,
no,
not
but
everything.
I like that about you. You have
People are
that
gone. And I
good,
talk to
that
Bob
nice
so much.
Jewish boy,
Exactly.
raised in a good family, values.
So I miss Bob.
I know his parents. I know his brother. I know his.
I'm
family.
doing part of the
Good people.
dialogue, and I'm getting stuck at like this one line. And so I did it a couple times. All right, fine, to get through my close-ups. And then when I was doing it with RD, with Schwartz, I was holding up.
With a silver tongue.
I'm
twist.
holding up the paper. I'm holding up it's like this big, but it's the script, okay? Just so I don't get stuck. And Peter's like busting my ass. Dude, get off the book. What are you, get off the goddamn book. I can't say to the producer on the film, on the set, dude, this is what's going on. I can't do that.
Wow.
So I got through it. We got through it. Okay, fine. So then after, we wrapped for the day. And I went real quick and, got my makeup off, whatever. And I came back to Peter. I said, can I talk to you for like 3 minutes? He's like, sure, come on. And I told him what was going on in my head, thinking about Bob and Darren and whatever. And he's like, you know what? Never even occurred to me. That happened to me 3.5 weeks ago when I got here.
I've had that because I get very Virgo with things, and you see it when I'm doing, my work on the show as well. I'm a perfectionist, and I get that. I have my book, and people, and they do the same thing to me. They're like, get off the book, get off, stop, and it's just that Virgo thing, and, you're trying to do the best job you can possibly do. It just
Of
means
course.
you care. And you are. You're a little bit nervous, and you want things to go right. And I do want to talk to you about something, and I want to talk to you on the show.
Is this good,
You
this
know,
is good
yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, and this is great. We have just enough time for you to talk about it. You co-starred in the TV movie A Time to Live with Liza Minnelli, Jeffrey Dunn, and the late actor Corey Haim. And I know you guys are friends.
We were.
Okay. And I also know there's been a huge amount of contention between you and Corey Feldman.
Oh, the piece of shit?
over
Absolutely.
the
Go
way
ahead.
you guys.
See, now the can comes
both,
off.
Wait a
She's
minute.
opened the
Over
can now.
the way you guys both have experienced the situations around, him, his passing, what it was about, what it was like, and whatever. And I have, as a viewer looking in, who also knows both of you and who also knew Corey Haim, although just, in passing, I always felt like it sidetracked and took away from Corey Haim with the arguing and the stuff that would go on. So I just wanted to have you talk about Corey Haim, your colleague, your friend, and what it was like to work with him, how you felt about him without talking or bringing in.
The schmuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
if that's what you want to call him, and just
I call him anything.
and what it was like at
my
a
opinion.
young age.
He's an
when
asshole, but that's
wait a
my
minute.
point.
But when you lost your beloved friend, how it felt, what it was like, just talk about Corey for us for a minute.
Haim was the nicest, sweetest, kindest kid you could ever meet. Did
And
not
you were
have a
in the
bad
film
buzz in the
together, A Time to Live.
Yeah, it was a TV movie of the week.
So you worked together, you became friends.
Yeah, we both. I moved out to L.A. 8 months before him, and then we moved into the same apartment building together so we could save money on the rent. So he was right above me, He was a great kid, I mean, since his passing March 10, 2010, I have not watched literally 1 second of anything that he's ever been. I can't do it.
I understand.
I just miss
It's
him.
difficult to lose a friend at a young age. I lost friends in my youth. I actually lost my first boyfriend, Larry McKay, when I was 16 years old. He committed suicide, and it was devastating. It was devastating to our whole community and our whole childhood circle. And I know that it was devastating for everybody.
I saw him. I was in the Oakwood with him 2 weeks before he passed. And he had cut most of the pills out. And he
It was an
smoked
addiction thing, right?
Oh,
yeah.
no,
and I'm
no.
also
From his passing? No, his passing was walking pneumonia.
Oh, okay.
Had the same thing as Brittany Murphy, her husband. I mean, it's an illness that you don't feel good. You feel sluggish. You kind of feel like the flu, and you don't go to the
Pneumonia.
doctor.
Okay.
But while you're doing that, the fluid's building up in your lungs, and by the time
Well, a lot of
you hit-
people are getting that from COVID now.
Yeah.
It's coming out a lot with COVID.
But we
and
kind
stuff
of
like
know COVID is something that, hey, if you feel like this, go see somebody. Okay. Whereas walking pneumonia wasn't discussed, wasn't talked about. And you don't know. And I mean, the morning before, or the afternoon before, he wasn't feeling that great. The next morning, he was feeling a little bit less, but his mom and he went out and they threw Frisbees for like 5 or 10 minutes. He's like, I'm just feeling tired. And she gave him some tea and toast and normal chicken soup, whatever. And it was that night that, it was 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. They were talking, and he's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And he got up and just collapsed. And it was, they got there in 8 minutes or whatever. That was it, though. He was gone, I miss him to this day. He was a great kid. Did he have his problems? Absolutely.
Well, I think we are
m-
all human and
Of
we
course.
are all flawed. So in different ways and
But-
on different days.
But
so
most
we have to
most
accept that.
most of the bullshit that you hear from the other guy that's still alive,
Well,
it's bullshit. Corey Haim and I spoke about it. There was an incident that happened to him by a guy who was an actor and a radio DJ and whatever.
right.
I said,
well, I
did
don't want to go
anybody
into
else
that.
do it?
Well,
He said
yeah,
no.
yeah.
He said no. And then of course when he's gone, that actor radio DJ guy sells the National Enquirer a story that Feldman feeds him to do it.
So,
And
but-
here you go. And it was about a famous,
and
an
you've
actor,
remained,
and it's all bullshit.
You've actually remained close to his family. And
His mom's like my second mom. We try and talk
Yeah.
every week, every 10 days, something like, when I was gone, we were on Facebook. And
All
whatever.
right.
We go back and forth.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up now down to 3 minutes. So I just wanted to say God bless you. God bless you. His
Yes,
mom's
God bless
name-
everybody. And
Judy
Judy Haim is a wonderful lady. I'm telling you, she's like my second mom. I call her mom,
And
and I've been up there and visited, and if it was closer, I'd go more often.
so
The
what I
Toronto
want to do
stuff.
though is I want to make sure that your fans out there know how to jump on your social medias and check out your stuff. He does memorabilia. He does all kinds of stuff. We've got just
Well,
a few
you go
minutes.
to if you Google A Christmas Story Family, that's where we have a lot of different stuff that has to do with Christmas Story, a lot of different products, all that kind of stuff. Social media, it's Scott Schwartz Actor on Facebook. You can follow me there. Or if you jump onto the Christmas Story Family page, there's a VIP thing, and we do appearances on there and do that kind of stuff. Beyond that, I'm not a Twitter guy. I don't
You're
need to
not
tell
doing
anybody.
your memorabilia anymore, and you're
Oh
not
no,
doing
I
all
still
of
do that, but yeah.
All right.
I don't need to tell anybody I'm going to the bathroom on Twitter. That's not me. I don't care.
I know most people live out loud. I like to live out my business on Twitter. God, Scotty, it's been great chatting with you again, and good luck with the movie. And I can't
Anytime,
wait to
kiddo.
see it. Anything for
Congratulations.
you. Congratulations.
You know that I
Mazel
I
tov.
almost know you 35 years.
Right?
You know that?
35 years.
34.
I've
It's like
known-
34.
I've
You're going to have to
known
bring
him.
Amber to the premiere.
Love you guys. Love the family sending my love to Mrs. Schwartz and Mr. Schwartz. Good luck, and I hope to see you guys again. That's all the time we have for tonight's episode of Rock
Peace,
and
everybody.
Sexy,
Be well.
Uncensored. Follow us on all of our social media links, and join us again next week for another amazing episode. Good night.
Thank you for tuning in to Amber Lynn's Rock-N-Sexxy Uncensored. Available on rockandSexxyUncensored.com. Don't forget to hit us up on all your favorite social media links and tune in next week for another amazing episode of